Hey guys, so I'm a bit sick today. I think I was in the sun too long over the weekend. We went to go camping, um, way out in Crater Lake in the proto start of the desert, the Oregon desert, and it was hot, and so I'm like, ugh. So I'm not streaming today, and instead I'm just gonna record this 100 out of 100 video for you guys. But I wanted to mention, I wanted to talk really briefly. I don't know how long this video will be, probably not very long, but I wanted to talk a little bit about violence. Um, because, there was the protests in Portland. Um, and while I was discussing it with somebody, they had this idea of that there needed to be some kind of honor in combat. They didn't like Antifa because they felt that Antifa did not own their punches. Now, I understand what he was trying to get across, and I understand the basic concept behind it. It's that if you're going to hurt someone, then you should sign it, basically. You should put your name to it, that your action should have consequences, and if you're avoiding consequences, then that's just how it is. But a lot of this is born out of some sort of idea of honorable combat. And honorable combat is something that you get taught as a kid is a thing, and it's not. That's called sports. Okay, that's martial arts competitions or MMA, boxing, that sort of thing. That's what that is. That's what honorable combat is. Fighting violence is not honorable. You can have an honorable intention, but the act of enacting violence on somebody is not inherently honorable at all. It could be seen as a universal negative because you are committing a destructive act. There's no such thing as constructive violence. Unless you want to do one of those things where like you have an argument with your good buddy and you get into a scrape and then you're better friends for it. That is a thing. It does happen. And I do see the benefit in that, especially when you're younger, or at least if you have the kind of relationship that you can pull that off with. But that also, scraping and wrestling and scrapping with your friends is also a little bit different than street violence. And the reason why I say this is very important. Violence, especially in the hands of somebody who doesn't know what they're doing, is very dangerous. And I mean that by every year there are a bunch of people who die from street fights, often after only getting hit once. We're very good at killing each other. We've made it almost an art of being able to murder each other, and part of that is hand-to-hand combat and violence. And if you clock somebody just right, you can make them die. You thump somebody just right in the chest, you can make their heart skip a beat. You crack somebody in the jaw hard enough they pass out and they fall and crack their head open and they fucking die. Or you can just hit somebody so goddamn hard their brain just and they're dead. This happens all the time, every year. There's this really sad article here, and you don't even have to be a big, strong, powerful, grown adult either. You just not know what you're doing. This article here: student has brain damage after bullying incident caught on video. 12-year-old kid being choked by a 14-year-old bully, and that kid now has severe brain damage. He can't walk. He can't really speak hardly anymore. He's going to have to be fed for the rest of his life. Permanent brain damage. Now, that bully didn't try and kill him. The bully was just trying to be a bully. He's just trying to enact violence. And now look at the repercussions of it. So this kind of thing happens really, really frequently, all the time. And that's why when I talk about violence with people, I make it a point to try and hammer home the idea that if you are going to commit an act of violence against somebody in the street, whether it's even just like a fight to defend somebody's honor or something, or a fight in a bar, you should be willing and understanding at that point in time that you could potentially either kill this person on accident or cause them permanent and irreparable harm. Every time you're thinking about doing violence, that is something that you should have to consider, that you should have to weigh, because that is something that happens, and it's more common than you think. So it's one of the things that makes me really irritated when people start talking about this honorable combat. Well, fuck honorable combat. Like, the rules in the street and how we square up and that kind of... Who is going to get any points for being an honorable combatant? It's a self-masturbating, illusion. It means nothing. It means absolutely nothing to anybody of any consequence at all. Violence is 9 times out of 10, if not 99 times out of 100, usually wrong and not something that needed to happen and probably shouldn't happen. So the very nature of understanding violence in this way, to understand that just even simply cracking somebody in the jaw could kill them, is a good thing to hammer home into your head and into the heads of your children, that this is a real repercussion, potentially, for violence. I think we'd be better off teaching people that than some bullshit illusions of, make sure if you're gonna fight, it's honorable combat. No, if you decide to swing on somebody, you make damn sure they fucking deserved it. And no matter what happens to them, you are going to be able to live your life with those repercussions. Maybe teach people responsibility, not a bunch of make-believe bullshit, That's just how I feel about it. I used to be a bouncer, too. Fuck. That was a weird job. Maybe I'll tell a story about that sometime on my 100 and 100. If you think that'd be a good idea and you'd like to hear some stories from Bouncer Jeff, leave a comment down below and maybe I'll do one here in a little while. I'll try and do some more videos over the next week to catch up on these, and otherwise I'm also going to have some videos coming out on my main channel soon. But I'm starting to feel all loopy again from sun, heat, and all that kind of crap. I'm going to go lay down. You guys have an awesome day. Bye-bye.